in India are affected by this closure of the schools and colleges and caused by the COVID. Moreover, students belonging to the marginalized section of the society are at the greater loss. The challenges posed by the crisis forces higher education institutions to adjust the new modes of learning and trends to ensure a seamless delivery of the courses and curriculum. The only possible solution in the current scenario is the tech-mediated online classes. Now, if you look at to this, this particular thought process, that's why to support this online education, Byju like company that we have mentioned, then many other companies, those who would like to give as far as the technological supports, so that the online education becomes affordable. Online education should be really digestible to the community, because previously offline education was there, where all the people, all the schools, colleges, right from primary to secondary, tertiary, and all the professional colleges at the tertiary level, all were very comfortable as far as the delivery of this all this education is concerned. But now immediately sudden breakthrough which has changed this complete dimension of this teaching learning process, where everything has been digitized. Now with respect to the digitization, you have mentioned as far as the digital divide is concerned, yes, if you look at to the urban sector is concerned and to the rural sector is concerned, the facilities and infrastructure as per the online education is concerned, the 40 to 60% of the total India is deprived of this particular infrastructure, because most of the people are staying into the rural area. If you look at to the students community also, because I have been into this particular education sector since last 32 years, I know that the approximately 62% of the total student population are from the rural India. They are from the rural background. They manages their finance and they somehow take the admissions to the engineering or professional courses, so that they will be employed someday. And their mother, father takes a huge amount of the pain to see that their child is into the best of the best school. But now, because of this complete immediately changing scenario, all this the sections, specifically from the rural section, where their average living standard is very low, and the education becomes unaffordable from them to purchase this laptop and all the mobile and internet, the expenses, and specifically the data which is required, which is now the online education becomes the data hungry. If the data is not there, all online education is stopped, and that is why there is a digital divide does exist. This is not only with respect to the students also. There are 40,000 institutions, engineering institutions in India. Out of this 40,000 engineering institutions, I can say maximum 30% of the good institutions may have this proper good infrastructure as far as the delivery of this education is concerned. Delivery of the content which has been given by the university or their whatever the autonomous syllabus they have developed. Delivery becomes possible only when the proper infrastructure is in place. So that's why, sure, because of this COVID situation, because of this complete digitalization, we have to ensure that affordable education should be given to all the students community. So this is my insight onto this one.
Yes. So there we can say that the digital divide does present, because the marginalized sectors can't afford the gadgets, the laptop or mobile phone. And based on this, my next question to you, sir, is that this laptop and mobile, this creates excessive burden, financial burden on the students as well as the family also. And there is recent news from Delhi, LSR College. A girl committed suicide because of the financial issues faced due to COVID-19, and she didn't have the resources to continue study online. So, do you think that the educational institution or the government needs to play more active role as far as these resources are considered?
Wonderful. This is again very apt question. because we know that LSR college students named Aishwarya Reddy. You are talking the same lady, right?
Yes.
So Aishwarya Reddy, because I have also gone to that particular specific case study, that she was from the very normal family. She was a very brilliant student. She was studying the BSc engineering, and because of the condition, she was not also able to purchase her books also and other the teaching learning material also. But because of this, and she was not having the even laptop also to learn, and that has, and she was very ambitious, very bright girl, and because the unavailability of the infrastructure, then the question was there, and she was into the depression, and as a result she felt that even though I may be very brilliant, but I am not giving any service, and I am not giving any service to the either society or to my mother and father also. I am not able to support. So what is the use of this education? And then she ended her life. This was the story, because, and this was a very pathetic situation. Prasad sir, you have really pointed out this particular case study, but let me tell you, in my education institutions, because I have served this 32 years of my service, I can say there are n number of such cases, and that is why I already mentioned, I already told you that the 40% of the total students which comes from the rural background, they are not in a position to afford this kind of the education, and specifically into the quality education, where the fees of these institutions is very high, and the material which is required as far as the teaching learning is concerned is also costly. In such scenario, how to provide and make this digital infrastructure available, this is the responsibility of the government also. Let us take this Tamil Nadu government example. After 12, they are going to give all the laptops to all the students to study. But
Yes.
it is not only that, it will not suffice only that requirement. I will tell you that apart from that, digital infrastructure as mentioned, internet, facility, they are all the complete data and availability, because even though everything is there, that should be accessible to them. So affordable, accessible, the facility, and that concern should be to the institution head, like as a principal. I have to also ensure that all the students, not a single student, maybe from the poor category, should be deprived from the online education. So what we have done, we have ensured, we have talked to everybody, their father, parents, and we have ensured that everybody is in a position to access this online education. Because see, the offline education, one-to-one education is altogether different, but unless and until they are on to this online, it is not possible to receive the right kind of the education which we are actually disseminating in from our institutional desk. So I think that these are the initiative. The number one initiative, it should be from the government, state government. It has to be supported by the central government. It has to be supported by the institution, those who are running the management, they have to take care. Some of the, we have the, some of the institutions are doing the very good practice. Every institution there is from the CSR cell, corporate responsibility cell, or institute responsibility cell, where what we do, we do collect the money from the strong and healthy students or the faculty. We make this corpus fund, and those students who are not in a position to afford this kind of the infrastructure, digital infrastructure, we support them.
Right.
And these are generally every year such 2-3 cases generally we handle, and such that mindset should be there to support the students, and government, along with the government, along with the state government, along with the management, they have to come forward. They are not in a position, let us say, from taking the actually to give this free education, but there are many industries. Let me tell you, the Tata has come out. There are some NGOs also from the Germany. Let me tell you, we have tied up with one German-based NGO who are mainly working for such students. those who are not in a position to take the education, number one, they are not in a position to take their closings and the books and other learning material. Entire one, they take the interview. My 42 students, lastly during in the last 10 years, 43 last not only last academic year, 2-3 years, we have been identifying the students who are not in a position to take education at all, because they are brilliant, but because of this financial condition, such students are being interviewed by this NGO, which is German based, and I have worked with them, and they have selected 42 students in earlier organization. 42 students selected, and their entire education has been taken care by them. Then not only that, they have been properly nurtured and skilled properly, and ultimately they have been placed into some of the companies which they have already having tie-up. And that's why where industry's intervention is also will be playing a significant role to support such kind of the students who are deprived of such kind of the facility.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next question, sir. This question is from the teacher's perspective.
Yeah.
Since technological transition, we are going through this conventional to online, so it must be challenging to the teachers as well, right? So as a head of the institutions, how you are ensuring the quality of education is maintained out of these challenges which teachers faces?
Yes, this is a very apt and very important question. As a head of institution, maintaining the quality learning teaching process is the main agenda of the institutions, right?
Right.
Previously, we were trying to ensure the practical examinations need to be given when the offline scenario was there. Whether immediate disrupt change into this online education, fortunately, as a head, we have ensured that this, as far as this complete 2 gigabyte bandwidth which was there earlier into our institution for entire campus, we have made it available to our campus, number one, as far as the providing the digital infrastructure as the bandwidth is concerned. Number two, all the teachers were not well acquainted with the online teaching learning tool. So what we have done, we have adopted the new teaching learning online tools. For example, Microsoft Teams. Prior to the Microsoft Teams, we were using the Moodle. So this Moodle was very efficient, because we had a discussion with the IIT Professor Samir Sasrabuddhe from IIT. Last year he had come here, and he said that everything as far as this Moodle is concerned, he said that all the teaching learning as far as the learning management system can be very good as far as the Moodle is concerned. Last year he had come, and along with this we had a good discussion with all the faculty members, and we told them, if the IIT is following the Moodle, why not we? Then I have made a mandatory to all my 400 faculty here, and trained all the faculty how to create the learning management system very familiar to the teacher. What are those modules? How to give the assignment? How to give the question paper? How to have the quiz? How to run the classes? How to give the notes? How to give the video? How to post the video? All such kind of the learning processes, learning modules, which has been made exposed to all the my faculty members. They were trained. So 2 weeks intensive training was given to them. They have been skilled, and then the Microsoft Teams, which was introduced last year, because we have also purchased our campus level licenses. So similar kind of the Microsoft Teams is a very good software. Then again we have changed. All the faculty members have to undergo this training of using this Microsoft Teams. See, look at, previously we used to have a 60 students class, 120 students class, but because of this Microsoft Teams, we were able to address the 120 students, 180 students class also. So as far as this teachers who were not able to address this kind of the huge amount of the number of the students, but now because of this digitalization of this education is concerned, all this Microsoft team, we have made the modules, and all this 180 students of the one complete year were in a positions to attend this particular classes, which was driven by the all the professors. So teachers, there were the challenges. Still, I know that right now also, because right from June to this October, right? We have been taking this, performing this particular classes, and all the students are being ensured that they are attending the classes or not. This is one challenge. Previously, one-to-one correspondence, one-to-one dialogue, collaborative learning, practically brainstorming, this situation was there when the offline was there. But here, this is again the second challenge, how to engage all the faculty.
Yes.
How to engage all the students and faculty into the
My supplementary question.
teaching. Yes.
The teacher has to basically engage with, let's say, minimum 30 students at a time. So definitely it must be challenging. And is there any effect on the engagement? Is it same as it was used to be in the offline module? Does it affect the quality education delivery? Because there are going to be limitations as far as the online mode is considered. So how you are
Prasad.
addressing those challenges?
Prasad, let me tell you that as far as the engagement of the students is concerned, their attention span is concerned, right now the students' attention span is very less. This was the challenge, correct?
Correct.
Now, to address that, let us say the 30 students are into the digital online class, for example, and we have to conduct the practical. You are concerning about the practical conduction of this, right? We do have the IIT Bombay, another practical setup. This is called as a nodal center for the practicals, specifically practicals learning. 1000 programs, 1000 courses are there onto online. So, to educate this all online practical programs, we have given those module to the teacher along with the students. They saw it carefully, and while delivering their subject, we have to ensure that they are properly engaged during that time interval. What the professors do here, to have a proper acquaintance and engagement into that particular lecture, after every 6 minutes there is a quiz we do give to the students, and immediately we give a break of 1 minute, 60 seconds they have to answer, and again go ahead for the next 6 minutes. So like that, there is a tool called as a Menti tool. In a Mentimeter, we ask a question, we give them, and they have to poll yes or no. They have to, from that we will be able to track the engagement of the students. So in-how, either giving this interval of this specific interval after every 6 minutes, some queries, questions, assignments, and ask them the quick multiple choice questions, and say yes or no. Based on that, we are able to analyze whether their attention span is there or not, whether they are engaged or not, whether there is a quality learning is there or not, whether they have understood or not. Their immediate assessment is also possible, and the evaluation becomes also easy out of this. And that's why we do have a proper rubric analysis to understand the engagement and attainment of this quality education.
Excellent. Excellent. So we have talked about many aspects of online education, and the one important aspect in this education category is examination. So again, what are the challenges that you face in online examination, and again, what is your experience with it, and what solutions or the changes are necessary as far as this online examination is considered?
Yes, I mentioned about right now as far as the delivery of this education is concerned. Quality delivery, quality teaching learning process, I have explained as far as the online is concerned. Now let us come to the online examination is concerned. There are 8 major challenges as far as online examination is concerned. First and foremost challenges is as far as this, whether the students are really able to take the examination, or do they have the access to the digital infrastructure at their own premises, because no